Well, it took me a while to get here, but here I am. How you doing today, guys? It is 12:20 a.m. right now. The reason I'm getting this video so late is because I was not home when the game was going on. I only saw the first 5-7 minutes of it before I had to leave. I had no choice, but maybe it was a good thing that I left because actually no, I never say that because I want to watch the games. Um, it was just a complete annihilation at the hands of the Saints. The Eagles lose 48-7. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, we knew the defense was not going to stop Drew Brees. We knew that. So what I personally wanted to see, I wanted to see the offense show some heart. I wanted to see the offense show some guts. I wanted the offense to have a no-die attitude, and I wanted them to fight. And they couldn't do that. They only put up 7 points, and that 7 points wasn't even from Carson Wentz. It was from Josh Adams, who once again only had 7 carries for the game. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, why? You said you were going to make him your lead back, which meant I thought that meant he was going to get more touches, but obviously you can't run the ball when you're getting blown out, so I understand that, but yeah, even still, I mean, I can't even be upset anymore because what I feel is sorrow. What I feel is sadness. What I feel is complete emptiness. Not only because the Eagles are such a bad team, but because the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this division by default. By default. And first of all, kudos to them. They went to Atlanta, they handled their business. But Alex Smith broke his leg, basically. I saw the thing, man. I was like, D. Kind of reminded me of Gordon Hayward from last year. Like, man, it was nasty. So first of all, I wish him nothing but the best. You know, speedy recovery and everything. I heard he had immediate surgery, so that's good. So he's on the road to recovery. His career might be done. I don't know if he'll be back in time for next year. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. But his career might be over. You never know. But because of that, the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Redskins this week on Thanksgiving. And because of that, they win this division by default. And because the Eagles suck, so they win this division by default. So congratulations, Dallas Cowboys. You win the NFC East. Congratulations. If you want to know the plus side of the day, at least they didn't give up 50 points. At least they didn't do that. You know, so I look at the rest of the schedule, and we see the Giants next week. Then we've got the Redskins Monday night. Then we've got the Dallas Cowboys. Then we've got the Rams Sunday night. And then we've got the Texans. And then we close with Washington. Theoretically, the Eagles are not out of the race just yet. If they somehow miraculously beat the Giants, And I say that because I don't even know if they're going to beat the Giants next week. I really don't. And if they somehow beat the Washington Redskins, again, I don't know how, because I can't even see them beating I don't even know who their quarterback is. But he probably pick us apart too. Then somehow, if they beat the Dallas Cowboys, because by then the Dallas Cowboys will be what, 6-5, and if we win the Giants and the Redskins, we would be 6-6 by the time we face them. Which means if we then beat them, they would also be 6-6. So, but I just don't see that happening because this Eagles team is just horrible. It's garbage. It's trash. They suck. And before you say, but it's the injuries, I want you to think back. Before the injuries, before all the injuries started occurring in the secondary, I want you to think back, and they were still sucking anyway. Like, that's the thing. They were still sucking anyway. You know, I saw EDP's video. He was like, bro, who is paying these dudes to just drop like flies? Because I don't know any team in the NFL who is as injured right now as the Philadelphia Eagles. I do not know. Dudes are literally dropping every single week. Somebody's dropping. And I'm like, I'm not even shocked. Jason Kelce went down today. Who else went down? I don't even know. Obviously, Darren Sproles has only played one game today. You know, Michael Wallace goes down. What's this man's name? Matt Collins hasn't played this year. I'm like, this ain't the injury bug, man. This is like the injury flu. Like, dudes are dropping. Like, you could sneeze on them and they got a torn ACL, man. Like, I'm just, dudes are dropping. I'm just like, I'm not even shocked. Jason Peters in and out. Lane Johnson in and out. I'm just, so you know what I would do? And I mean this, and I know they won't do it, but this is what I would do. I would shut Carson Wentz down for the season because there's and just let him rest. Shut him down, let him rest. Because if I actually think for a second that the Eagles are going to somehow miraculously beat the Giants, I don't. Do I think that Eagles can somehow miraculously beat the Redskins? I don't. Do I think even if the Eagles did do that, come back and they can beat the Dallas Cowboys? I don't. So which means the season is over. I've been saying that since last week. Now, constantly throughout the season, I'm going to say, oh, season's over, season's over, season's over, season's over. But now that the season is legitimately over. You could say, oh, there are only 2 games back. And like I said, if that would happen. But this is the Eagles we're talking about. They'll find a way to screw it up. Do you realize the Giants right now are 3-7? And if we would lose next week to the Giants, we would have the same record as them. Do you realize that? That is a shame. That is sad. We don't even deserve to be called the reigning Super Bowl champions. We don't. I barely recognize this team, man. I don't recognize Carson Wentz. I don't recognize Doug Peterson. I just don't get it. And speaking of Doug Peterson, this man cannot put together a game plan to save his life. Like, these plans, he keeps doing the same thing every week. We can officially say we wasted a 3rd round pick on Golden Tate because he hasn't done anything. So I'm sitting here and we've wasted a 3rd round pick. Dudes are dropping like flies. Carson Wentz is constantly getting beat up every week. So what's the point of playing him? And no, before you say, let's put in Nick Foles, I'm not subjecting Nick Foles to the brutal beatdown that Carson Wentz has experienced throughout this entire season. I'm not doing it. That man is a hero. That man is the reigning Super Bowl MVP. Why would I do that to him? I'm not. Now, I don't want to do it to Nate Sudfeld either, but somebody's got to play quarterback. So it looks like he's going to have to do it. So you shut down Carson Wentz for the season. You say, you know what? You're going to start getting ready for next year. You put in Nate Sudfeld. Nick Foles will still unfortunately have to be the backup just in case anything happens to Nate Sudfeld. But I'm just... That's what I would do. That's what I would legitimately do. I would shut down Alshon. I would shut down Zach Ertz. Just get all the starters. Just shut them down. Just because this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's clear to me that Frank Wright and John DeFilippo were the clear genius of this offense, because it ain't Doug Peterson, and it's definitely not Mike Rowe. So he needs to go. He needs to either get demoted back down to just a wide receivers coach, or he needs to just be gone and fired. You know me. I'm saying we need to fire Jim Schwartz, but we can't lose both Jim Schwartz and Mike Rowe, as Darius was saying. So if we had to lose one or the other, then you get rid of Mike Rowe, because this is an offensive league, which means you need to be able to put up the points in order to compete in this league. Even teams who are steamrolling people, the Saints, the Rams, the Saints, the Rams, and the Chiefs, they're all 9-1. Why is that? Because their offense is unstoppable. And you know why also? You see the talent on that team that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Yet when Doug Peterson was there, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it could have something to do with Alex Smith too, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember them steamrolling people. Now, they were in the playoffs every year, yes, this is true, but they weren't steamrolling people, they weren't destroying people, they weren't dusting people, they didn't start doing that till last year, and that's when they still had Alex Smith as their quarterback. Now, obviously, they went through a bumpy road, but eventually they ended up winning the division. And this year, obviously, you see what they're doing. And so I'm just like, I don't know who we can get, but we need an offensive-minded guy. And we need to work on red zone efficiency. We need to get back to third down. We need to remember what worked last year. And you know who I blame for all of this? I blame Josh McDaniels. Because if he wasn't so stupid and he decided not to stoop the Indianapolis Colts, that means Frank Wright never would have left. And we wouldn't be in this position. We wouldn't. But here we are. So, thanks a lot. So, I guess the Patriots did win in the end. Because they got the last laugh. They won in the end. I'm not giving no excuse. I can hear people now, oh, this man's just giving an excuse of why his team sucks. No, they suck. I'm flat out saying it. They suck. And Mike Rowe need to go. Or, like I said, get demoted or whatever. Because we need somebody else up here to level head Doug Peterson, and that's the first thing we do in the offseason. We get somebody, we get a new offensive coordinator. We maybe even get a new quarterbacks coach, or whatever we got to do. And then when that's done, we try and we go after Le'Veon. I hear Le'Veon's asking for what, $45 million? I mean, a lot of people are going to be leaving. So we might be able to do it now, because if you really think about it like this: whoever we get in the draft, they're not going to be better than Le'Veon Bell. They're not. Even if we get a top prospect, he's not going to be better than Carson or Le'Veon Bell. So what you do is, because to be honest with you, I believe next year is the last opportunity to win a Super Bowl on Carson Wentz's deal. You hold off on it just for a little longer, for a year or two, and you use that money that you would have paid Carson Wentz to pay Le'Veon Bell. Now you have Le'Veon Bell, you have Carson Wentz. You get rid of Wendell Smallwood, so now your running backs are Le'Veon Bell, Josh Adams, Corey Clement. You have those guys. Your wide receivers, I don't know who wide receiver number 2 would be. Maybe they bring back White Wallace, since they never really got an opportunity to test him out and see what he can do in this offense. You have Mike Wallace, you have Alshon, you have Ertz, you have Goddard. I don't know about the offensive line though. Like I don't know. I mean, obviously you draft a tackle to replace Jason Peters. Maybe you give Big V a shot. Maybe you give Metella a shot. I don't know, but you need to do something. Got a lot of work to do in this offseason. I prefer they go after Le'Veon because, like I said, I think this next year season coming up, 2019, I believe it's the last year available to us while Carson Wentz is still on his rookie deal, that we have a Super Bowl window. Because I don't think, while it's not completely Carson Wentz's fault, you clearly saw today, he ain't helping the problem. He's part of the problem. He's not the main problem, but he's part of the problem. So, that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. I'm done. Like I said, I personally would bench Carson Wentz, shut him down, not because he's playing bad, which, well, he is. Well, he's not playing terrible, but like I said, he's not helping us either. So I would just shut him down. Just shut him down. What's the point of abusing him any longer? Shut him down, and you put in Nate Sudfeld. Obviously, they're not going to do that. But if you lose to the Giants, which, again, I'm going to state, if we lose, we'll have the same record. But if you lose to the Giants, shut him down. I think you shut him down now. But this is the last chance, the last straw, the last gasp of air that you have left. You need to beat the Giants to stay in the race, whatever. But if you don't win, you shut him down because there's no reason at that point. So, with that being said, that's pretty much about it. So, I'm done. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Had a long day. Sadness, just... Anyway, so, and if you're not down with that, actually, I can't even say that either. So, I guess I'll just see y'all later. Peace out. Oh, tomorrow, or I guess rather today, since it's 12:36, I'm going to be doing a video on the Warriors, my first basketball video. Surely y'all heard by now about this Draymond, KD situation and Steph not being there. I'm going to break it all down, talk about it, and give my opinion on it and what I think they need to do. So, and I'm even going to talk a little bit about the Sixers and everything. I haven't done an NBA video, so you're going to get that later today. So, till then, peace out, guys.